Greetings! Today, we present an exceptional opportunity for you to consider. We cordially invite you to embark on a profound journey, a transition towards spiritual enlightenment that could reshape your understanding of the world. In this video, you will hear a passage titled The First Encounters with the Unexplainable, from the book The Journey Begins Within by SAVI. Together, these teachings emphasize the importance of recognizing early spiritual experiences, the power of belief in healing, understanding divine lessons in humor, persevering through challenges, acknowledging interdimensional existence, and embracing the unconditional love of the divine for a profound and transformative spiritual journey. In this video, you will learn 1. Early spiritual experiences. Early encounters with the divine can set the tone for a lifelong spiritual journey, even if their significance is not immediately understood. 2. Voice of the Spirit. Hearing the inner voice of the Spirit, often subtle and peaceful, can provide guidance and comfort in times of need. 3. Power of belief and healing. The mind's power, bolstered by belief and ritual, can facilitate physical healing in ways that defy conventional medical understanding. 4. Divine humor and lessons. The divine can use humor and seemingly inexplicable events to teach profound lessons about the nature of reality and spiritual truths. 5. Persistence through challenges. Personal hardships and familial struggles can shape one's spiritual path and foster resilience and deeper understanding. 6. Interdimensional existence. Experiencing and recognizing the presence of other dimensions and planes of existence can deepen one's understanding of life and the divine order. 7. Unconditional divine love. The divine presence is characterized by unconditional love, guiding and supporting individuals through all experiences. I hope you enjoy it. See the video description for additional details.
The first encounters with the unexplainable. Not making sense of the perceived reality in my early years. Let me simplify it and confirm that I am crazy, so you don't need to question my sanity. I've already done this for you, so there's no need to resist what I am about to share. With this essential clarification out of the way, I invite you to abandon all preconceptions of what is realistic and what is not. It took me decades to muster the courage to openly admit to myself and others all the experiences I will share throughout the book, interlaced between higher awareness teachings, observations, and thoughts. It all started on a gloomy winter day in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I was about 6 years old, gazing out the window of my bedroom on the 4th floor of our modest apartment in Belgrano, when I heard what I would later understand in life was the voice of the Spirit within each one of us. It spoke so vividly that I still recall it as if it were yesterday. It was not like the incessant self-talk, the psychopath within, that all of us experience until we calm the neural patterns through transcendental meditation. I digress. But this voice was more subtle, with an ethereal presence of complete stillness and peace. Unlike the constant self-talk, this voice seemed to originate from a much deeper realm of which I was then unaware. It felt like it originated outside of me, yet the voice was not directly audible. It was more like a telepathic experience. It sounded akin to an older man, which was strange, considering I was only 6 years old. One thing I was certain of, it wasn't my voice. I heard out of thin air, "I will leave you alone now, but you will find me again." Without a clue, I was first taken aback and looked around to see where the voice was coming from. I was alone in the room as my mom was far away preparing supper that afternoon. Once I regained my composure and subdued my initial fear, I asked, "Who are you? Wait, don't go!" To which I felt what I can only describe as a loving presence and a sense of infinite comfort. Then, in what I could describe as a telepathic exchange, the presence asked me what I wanted to achieve in this life. I provided a simple answer that, little did I know then, would guide the entirety of my earthly experience. Being brought up Catholic, my early childhood innocence requested from the presence that I wanted to get to know and follow Jesus Christ, as this was what was being taught to me in school and by my family. The presence then imbued in my awareness its assent to my request, and I felt it as it departed. To this day, I have no clue what transpired, who or what that presence was, how to even describe it, or any of the implications of the exchange. My life went on. I had a difficult childhood for many reasons that are not important to bring forward. However, frankly, today, I see them as the cornerstone of the man I have become, allowing me to explore unconventional means of existence while being of service to others. I was still young when the next event took place. To provide some context, we had a beautiful 125-acre weekend house that had been in the family for 3 generations. We used to gather on this property, which boasted a substantial 2-story estate built by my great-grandfather, Manuel, and a smaller, more quaint home built by my grandfather, Oscar, which I will mention later. During the summer months, I would spend my school breaks mostly living in harmony with nature and communing with horses, cows, chickens, and dogs, experiencing an immense sense of belonging and peace. I didn't recognize how blessed I was during those early days, having the opportunity to experience this communion with nature away from the city. There were hundreds of over 45-year-old trees on the property, which Manuel himself had planted when he acquired the site with the foresight of creating a private country club one day. Unfortunately, as is often the case in families, after great men come weaker ones, who don't dare to follow through, so this plan never took place. My father was not allowed to make decisions as he was not a relative by blood, and the family members in charge, although well-intentioned and possessing integrity, ran the family fortune into the ground due to their weak leadership character and incompetence. It was during these summer days that I developed a severe case of warts growing both on the left side of my foot and on my right hand. I've always been empathetic and somehow have a heightened sense of awareness which put me in a constant state of internal turmoil in those days. By then, I had already experienced severe bullying at school, given my awkward demeanor. Additionally, let's just say that my parents' disciplinary modality involved the good old belt and demanding results, all of which added to my internal self-conflict. These parenting methodologies, which would be unacceptable in today's views, likely contributed to the stress. It is my guess that everyone attributed these warts to my heightened stress level and decided to remove them surgically as they continued to grow and were causing me pain when I walked. After what seemed to be a routine procedure, all the warts were gone, but to everyone's surprise, they came back with a vengeance in the same spot. By then, everyone, including the doctors, was a bit taken aback, as the procedure had gone as planned, and what they called the root of each wart was removed in a fairly deep incision. Somehow they concluded that this was a psychosomatic event, and I needed to convince myself that they were to be gone for them not to grow again. So my parents, in their level of awareness, told me a story that involved me believing that the warts would go away on their own. This involved rubbing a small piece of pig fat on each wart during a full moon night and burying said piece in a red ant mound. Once the ants finished eating the fat, my warts would disappear. As Dr. Joe Dispenza would attest, the power of perception and the mind is yet to be fully understood, as is our healing power and supernatural abilities. In my childhood innocence, I was convinced that I would heal naturally on my own. I monitored the warts, and within a few days, overnight, I woke up and they were gone. Now, it is hard to comprehend this, and I still have my questions. However, I can tell you that I had another more vivid supernatural healing event involving my lower back, in which, fully conscious, I felt the presence of the Holy Spirit heal my body, which could be construed as a true miracle. I will wait to go into these details. I want you to open yourself to the possibility of the unknown, understanding that there are forces in this reality that we still do not understand or fully grasp. The human condition is a miracle. We are all much more than what meets the eye. Moving on in my timeline, I had the opportunity to live a somewhat ordinary early life within the confines of a typical family. Other than the sternness of my parents and their narrow-mindedness as to what and how my own life ought to be lived, confining me to a very demarcated lifestyle, I had no other issues. We were living in the Northeast U.S. due to my father's career when I decided I had had enough of the U.S. lifestyle and wanted to return to Argentina to pursue my university studies right after graduating from high school. I moved back to attend engineering school in Buenos Aires, while my parents and brother stayed for another year. During my second year, all my family had already reunited and settled back, and we lived together in a new home in a subdivision known as Belgrano. It was then that the next inexplicable metaphysical event happened. I discovered that our Father in heaven has a very talented and, in specific ways, sarcastic sense of humor. I have such humor, hence he reflects my sense of humor to me in a way that I can relate to. So there I was, and it's hard to forget when physical reality decides to change itself or the laws governing it to show you something you have yet to experience. I was given the awareness of the irony of the event decades later. While studying Newtonian physics during my second year of formal engineering school, the divine decided to show me in a very vivid manner that humanity doesn't have a clue about the true nature of the dimension we live in, and that the only laws of the universe are the ones dictated by our Father in heaven, as his will can instantly mandate the breaking of every physics law known to humanity in the material realms. On to the point I have been avoiding thus far. I had my physics book open one afternoon, trying to make sense of the equations. I had just finished drinking a can of Coke, which was on my desk by my side. Before everyone here starts assuming alternate explanations, let me provide more details. All the windows and doors to my room were closed, so no air currents were plausible, as we did not have central AC like here in the U.S., which is not customary down there. My ceiling fan was also off because it was autumn. Now I witnessed the following event with my own eyes, and only a few years ago was I able to make peace with what I am about to share. Without my intervention, the Coke can flipped on its side, rolled onto a perfectly level desk with a glass top, and fell to the left side. I dismissed it immediately, thinking I had accidentally bumped it, and you may also draw this conclusion. I do not blame you if you did. So feeling a bit spooked by what I had just witnessed, I got up from the chair and looked for the Coke can on the floor. Despite spending 2 hours completely dismantling my bedroom, to this date, I still couldn't find the can. It had seemingly disappeared from the physical 3D plane. I had no choice but to put the event in the back of my mind and forget about it. Later in life, after experiencing even more transcendental events, including apparitions, I understood that I was being prepared slowly throughout this journey to be ready to understand other planes of interdimensional existence, including what we call life after death, and the existence of an overarching divine presence to which all of creation bows, not out of fear, but out of gratitude, for its unconditional love for each one of us and everything within all its realms.
If the content moves you, we invite you to embark on your journey by purchasing a copy of the book at Amazon, Kindle, or iBook today. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring. The journey begins within. Click like and subscribe for additional details. See the video description.